Cuntfaced was the product of boredom in an empty town. Newquay's schizophrenic nature sees it shift from a summery stag and hen meat market to a desolate winter ghost town, which leaves residents to form their own entertainment. One cold December night, inspired by internet filth and a barely known noise band named Bear Trap, 4 tipsy friends met at an isolated home in Cornwall for a jam. There they farted out the music that would eventually become a giant public poo, smeared across the faces of 10,000 horrified onlookers.
I remember Dave wanted to start a band called Cuntfaced because it would be funny.
Dave thought that these pictures he'd found on the internet of a child with a vagina for its mouth were hilarious.
Well, yeah, we started at Dave's garage. It was just a bit of a muckabout, really.
It was all made to sound like it was live.
And the first song name I ever came up for it was Put Your Hand In.
It's first one's called Put Your Hand In,
which was a quote from League of Gentlemen about a practical joker in which you have to put your hand in a box and then it electrocutes you or something. And we just decided to make a horrible, crappy racket.
I took the audio back home, stuck the audio of like thousands of people on it and things like that, and yeah, that's it. So we called it Live at Gay Fest. A pretty good festival name there, I think.
And then legends were born.
We got it!
It was sort of like, what should we do tonight kind of thing, and we realised, you know, it's Tuesday, there's an open mic night on at Newquay's Walkabout, which is quite a pretty good stage, really.
Everyone was going on doing sort of like little acoustic numbers, just which was fine, you know, everyone's doing their thing, but if you want to play Wonderwall for the 18th time, you know.
And then Bibby came up with the idea of something we should do that evening, which was to do a live thing of Cuntfaced.
I got a phone call from Bibby and said, let's go down, just go a bit mental on stage, and yeah, from there.
It was quite a spontaneous idea, and it was like, oh, shall we do that? That could be quite funny. And it was like, oh, I don't know, shall we do it? It's either going to go down really well or really, really badly. So
we just thought, wouldn't it be fun if someone went up there and just had a real good crack and just, yeah, made people laugh and just went a bit mental on stage. So we thought, you know what, let's do it, you know.
We kind of psyched ourselves up for it by doing interviews in character, which we kind of made up on the spot, both the characters and the answers to the interviews.
That was actually my first ever gig. That's the first gig we ever done. And I have no fear about getting up in front of cameras and audience. I've done speeches before and stuff like that, but I've never actually played live.
So even though at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, once I got up there, I just absolutely loved it.
a lot of residents of Newquay and people that come here, the last thing they expect is extreme noise and blast beats and obscene vocals. So it's great. Newquay's the best place for it, really, because people don't know what to hit them.
Yeah, it was a really unique experience doing that, because I've been in bands before, but I'd never done something that felt so free. We could just do anything. It didn't matter how awful it sounded, it didn't matter how structureless, how retarded any of it was. It was just complete freedom, which was ace. And you can hear me saying things like, I want this to last forever in the lyrics that I was making up as the songs were being played.
The first gig was great, everyone was clearly having a laugh, so good.
As the tourist season drew on, the clubs became busier and the audience's reaction became more volatile. The third and fourth gigs revealed just how strongly Cuntfaced polarised and bewildered spectators with their senselessly awful racket and deeply offensive lyrics. The majority of those watching seemed to get it and realised that what they were seeing was as much a practical joke as it was a gig. However, there were also those that failed to recognise the humour and did all they could to sabotage the gigs, using jeers, threats, and even dangerous retaliation.
I'm Adam, this is Foxy. We run the open mic night in Newquay, Cornwall. We have done for several years.
Many years, too many years.
When we played the third gig, we sort of sat round a corner so we could get dressed and ready, sort of away from the bar and the dance area and things like that. And every 10 minutes we'd just look over to see how busy it got.
It progressively became busier and busier, and I did actually become quite uncertain of whether it was a great idea to be doing such an incredibly offensive thing.
I was never nervous. The only time I was a little bit nervous was when we did it in front of smaller crowds. I don't really know why, but when there's a big crowd, I'm totally fine with it.
I'd say about 500, 600 people were there, so when we got on stage I was a bit meh, you know.
We'd already kind of talked about what we were going to do, but I think that I hadn't told anyone what the song titles were going to be.
This first song's called Margaret Thatcher's Got Senile Dementia and a Learner.
I think we offended the audience pretty early on. They might not have understood that during the first song I was saying rape over and over again. By the second song, Dog Hammer, which is just a wall of noise, I think they were pretty fucked off with us, and I think that was the point when a bunch of probably football supporting borderline retards started shouting and jeering.
Because I just find it funny, you know, that someone would actually, you know, stop their conversation to start booing and chanting us off, doing chants like "You're shit and you know you are."
You're shit and you know you are. Who are you?
And just off, and it's just funny.
Just chavs in the summer, so that's gonna happen. They don't understand it.
Off, which was a fair enough comment, I suppose. But it just got us playing up to it even more. I knew I was going to do the Inspector Gadget song, which went down like a ton of shit. But then the people at the front, there was a group of about 5 people who were just loving it.
But yeah, when everyone's going crazy in front of me, it's just fun.
Things just turned around like that. I mean, went from boos to, you know, complete cheering and things. Which is good because to play at Walkabout, it's a bit, you know, you feel a bit rude sometimes doing it, but as long as you can put on a good show, you feel that, you know, you're up there for a reason and they were happy with it and you're happy with it, so.
Gig 4 was up there in terms of busyness with the third gig. Absolutely packed, height of summer, when the whole town just is alive with stag and hen parties.
I had a fair bit to drink, can't really remember it.
Started off the gig by saying that it wasn't going to be in the slightest bit offensive because we'd had lots of complaints about the last one being all about sexual assault.
Because I sort of dwelled a lot on sexual assault based lyrics, so this is going to be the least offensive gig ever. This first song's called Bring Me Your Interracial Kiddie Porn.
Generally speaking, we were getting really positive responses from people. I think most people got it. But once I gave birth to the baby out of the end of what was supposed to be my penis, and then suckled it on my nipple, people seemed to turn on us.
The baby out of the crotch thing was lovely.
I remember a couple of shot glasses being thrown and some pennies.
I remember having a drink thrown at me here.
Also, when people started throwing coins at us, like we even then we still egged them on to,
Crap shot! Through like a girlish child!
So we had to kind of say you might have to leave the stage because someone might get hurt.
And sadly, we had to finish early.
So I thought I'd have a bit of a pissy drummer fit, and because I drank a little bit, I threw the sticks around.
After having their fourth gig cut prematurely short, the band soon encountered further censorship. When they played a special Halloween set at a nearby surf bar, Cuntfaced quickly learned that they had been banned from playing at the pub again. By now they also had an online presence where they had expanded their uncompromising humour to include poor taste photoshopping and taboo baiting status updates. The band had become even more provocative and now refused to acknowledge boundaries of any kind. The question was, how far was too far?